a quarter of the Red readers who were polled as part of the 1,000 Red said they still don't know who to vote for. So I want to hear from each of you what your party has to offer Red readers and women in Britain in general. Let's start with Jo.
Well, earlier this evening, I spoke about education, which was the reason actually that I joined the Liberal Democrats, was about our priority on education as the way that you provide opportunity, and particularly investing in those early years. And despite the really challenging economic circumstances that we have found ourselves in, we have prioritised investing in more money for the poorest pupils in schools and extending that free early years education because we know that makes a difference. But we want to be able to continue going on and doing more of that. But you need to have the strong economy in order to do that. We've got unemployment has fallen sharply, which is great. We've got confidence coming back into the economy, and we are on the right track. But my fear at the election is that you end up either with one extreme or the other, either with a Labour Party that ends up not letting that economy recover because they don't have the credible plan to deal with the economic challenges, or you have a Conservative Party that wants to veer off to the right, and I wish all the people in the Conservative Party were like Nicky Morgan. I think coalition would have been a lot easier over the last 5 years had that been the case. But there are plenty of people in Nicky's party who have very extreme views about trying to rip us out of Europe, about cutting for the sake of cutting rather than because we need to balance the books so that we can get on with ending austerity and then investing again in our public services. And that's what the Liberal Democrats are offering, a credible plan to balance the books, but then making sure that we invest in public services like the NHS and education. And that's the way that we can produce opportunity for everyone in the country, which will be to everyone's benefit. So that's why you should vote Lib Dem.
Nicky?
Well, I think our watchword as Conservatives is about security. It's about securing the future of our country, and that means securing the future of everybody in this room and working with people beyond to help them to build that future. And that means basically in terms of education, we've already talked about life transforming. It's about, I think education is about people's future, every child having the best start in life. Many people in this room and outside will want to be homeowners or will be thinking about how they're going to do that. And we absolutely want to help secure people's futures and their families' futures by allowing them the security of owning a home. But it's also about wider issues. I mean, Yvette talked earlier on about the bus and issues women are interested in. I think women are interested in every kind of issue. It doesn't matter, it's not, this is a woman's issue, that's a man's issue. Actually, all these things, whether you're talking about the situation overseas or whether you're talking about something much closer to home, we are all interested and passionate about all of that. And so that's why I think the security, building, as Jo has said, a strong economy, which again, if we have a strong economy, we can pay for the things that we care about that most matter to our country. So I think the Conservative Party, we want to work with everybody to build that secure future.
And to finish, Yvette?
Yeah, just go back to that first question about widening inequality. I don't think we have a strong economy if too many people are being left behind. That means too many talents are being wasted. It means a lot of women's talents are being wasted because we've seen the clock being turned back in too many areas on women's equality. Women have been hit 4 times as hard as men by the decisions that this government has taken. That's turning the clock backwards. And we want to see a stronger economy in which everybody gets a chance. Yeah, that means dealing with the 0 hours contracts. It means increasing the minimum wage. It means seeing childcare and social care as part of our economic infrastructure. It's not just about trains and roads. It's about making sure we have a modern economy that everybody can be part of and everybody can share in, rather than so many people being left behind. And it also means supporting our public services, not this extreme approach that means we go back to the 1930s in the public services that we need and depend on, but a more balanced approach. The deficit reduction will bring the deficit down year on year, but also mean we can get more money into our National Health Service. It means we can put more money into our childcare, paid for by a levy on the banks. Actually have a fairer approach, because I think in the end, this is actually about values. And it's about, we've got a better plan, we've got specific policies that we can set out, but it's also about the underpinning values. Because in the end, we don't believe in leaving people behind. But we also believe when our public services are about supporting people and supporting everybody, because we're stronger if we stand together than if we leave people to sink or swim alone. And I think the Conservative especially approach, but actually the Lib Dems signed up to it every step of the way, was to see these public services as being somehow a bad thing because they make you dependent. Actually, for a lot of women, we know in our lives, public services, whether it's about childcare or a good health service or education, is what gives us independence, to be able to go out to work and juggle family life, to be able to support our families and be part of a strong and thriving economy. And that's why I think our plan is for a better future, more confident future that every single one of us, women and men and children, can all be a part of.